might be wondering what watersheds have to do with you and pollution, but anything that we do on the surface of the land is going to drain towards our waterways, to our ponds, our rivers and our streams. So if you have a dog and it goes to the restroom, or a farmer has got a lot of cattle and they're not handling their waste, this waste can become a problem. Don't just think of it as, hey, it's only one dog, it's only a little bit of poop it's leaving behind. Think about all of the dogs in your neighborhood. Think about all of the dogs in your community that might be within the same watershed and how much waste that they produce. So it's a really simple fix. When your dog goes to the bathroom, clean it up, throw it away. Other problems that we have are to do with chemicals such as fertilizer. And farmers quite often get the blame when we think about fertilizer, but farmers are not the only ones that use fertilizer. Homeowners use a lot of fertilizer as well. And we don't always know if we're adding the right chemicals or even if we're adding the right amount. The best way to tell if you're using the correct type or the correct amount of fertilizer is to have your soil tested. And you can work with the Ohio State Extension Office to get your soil tested, or you can purchase test kits online. We don't just use fertilizer. People also use other chemicals such as weed killers, herbicides, and pesticides. So let me sprinkle some of those on there as well. Now you notice that some of the sprinkles are going on the roadway, and that happens in real life if we're not careful. These chemicals that we're using in our yard can end up in our driveway and on the roads, and then next time it rains, it's directly washed towards those rivers and streams. There's some of our chemicals over at the farm as well. Now, one of my biggest pet peeves is litter, and I'm sure you've all seen someone throw something out of a car window before. Somebody's trash blowing over in the neighborhood, someone out for a hike in a green area, leaving their bottles and candy wrappers behind, and all sorts of stuff in parking lots. It's a very simple fix. Even a preschooler can tell us our trash doesn't belong on the ground. Now the last one I'm going to show you on here is something that a lot of people don't think of as being pollution. It's soil. And on this hillside here, we have a lot of bare soil. I'm going to use cocoa powder to pretend it's soil. But we have a lot of bare soil because a lot of the vegetation, a lot of the plants were taken away. We also have a lot of bare ground here over in the farm where they've harvested their crops. And also back there on the construction site. Now, soil, if it's in place, it's great. We need it for our plants to grow. But soil doesn't always stay where we want it to be. If we have bare soil and it rains, that soil can wash away and end up in our rivers and streams. I'm sure you can see that water going in there. It looks like chocolate milk. And I'm sure you've all seen a river looking like chocolate milk before. That comes from the soil that's washed off of our hillsides, our farmland, our yards, our construction sites. So we work a lot with farmers for them to have cover crops. So when they harvest, they have another plant that's growing there. We work with developers to make sure that they try and keep all of the soil on that construction sites. But in our yards, there's nobody really telling you what to do. So just think to yourself, what can you do to keep that soil in place so it doesn't end up in a river? So I'm going to make it rain. When I make it rain, if you watch the pollution, it's not staying in place. It's running downhill. Water always takes that easiest route and runs downhill. And so that water, as it runs over the surface, it's picking up that pollution. It's picking up that litter. It's picking up that road salt. It's picking up the fertilizer. And it's all moving it down towards our river. Now, we don't drink the water in the river. We've already established our drinking water comes from the groundwater. But that water in the river is drinking water for a lot of wildlife. Our ducks, our fish, our otters, our beavers, turtles, frogs, keep on going. There's so many animals that depend upon this water. But look what we've done to it. Not only have we done this to their drinking water, we've also done this to their home. Imagine someone came and made this kind of mess to your property. So we've had it washing through. It went through our tributary here, which could be Crawford Run, going into the Great Miami River. Remember, our watersheds are connected, so that water is going to continue from the Great Miami River into the Ohio River, into the Mississippi River, and beyond down to the Gulf of Mexico. There are a few great things that you could do to help out. Along with picking up after your dog, testing your soil, you can also volunteer in your neighborhood to put labels down that encourage people not to put anything down the storm drains in their neighborhood. Those storm drains are a direct connection from your neighborhood to the nearest river or stream. It's a pipe that will run straight underground, and that pipe doesn't go anywhere to get treated. So if you drop trash and it washes down that storm drain, it's going to go through a pipe underground and come out at the nearest stream.
Find out more about what you can do to protect your watershed at butlerswcd.org.